Welcome to Networked, powered by Hive. Networked is your seat at the table for conversations, connections, and insights shaping the next generation of leaders. Today, we have Dawson with us. Dawson? Hey, it's good to see you, man.
It's good to be here, Zane.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a while since we got to talk and sit down and converse. Tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're at, what you've done, what you've been doing. Just a little bit about Dawson.
Yeah, so I'm Dawson Eastes, originally from New Palestine, Indiana. Currently live here in Crawfordsville with my fiance, Jane. Lived here for just under a year now. And I'm currently a sales executive here at RT Insurance. So we specialize really in public entity insurance. So your public school districts, municipalities, any ambulance service, that's really our bread and butter.
Sweet. So when I met you, you were over at Estridge, but you made a transition and a switch, and I haven't really gotten to talk to you since. So tell me a little bit about, I know you mentioned that you're doing insurance right now. Explain to me more, or tell me a little bit more about that process.
Yeah, so my fiance Jane and I, she grew up here in Crawfordsville, and family's a big component for us in deciding where we wanted to live. And she really wanted to be close home to her parents and the rest of her family, so we decided we wanted to plant our roots here. And where I was working at on the north side of Indy would have been an hour and 15-minute drive each day. And I knew I wanted to jump more into a client-facing role, a full-on sales role, and this opportunity at RT kind of just fell in my lap. Rob, who's the R in RT, is a good family friend of Jane, and so I reached out to him, just asking him if he knew anyone who had any opportunities in the area in a client-facing sales role, and luckily enough, at that time, they were hiring here at RT. So kind of was a natural transition. Started here in June of last year and haven't looked back.
Sweet. Crawfordsville. That's a poke for the Indy area. We were driving. We're like, holy smokes, we're going to Crawfordsville today.
We're in the boonies.
Yeah, a little booty. We drove past a town with, what was it? Thorntonville? Thorntown?
I'm still learning the area, man.
Yeah, you just hold your mic closer. What was that?
Thorntown.
Thorntown. We were driving through there. And
you got Thorntown, New Ross, Liston, Jamestown, all these little nooks off the interstate.
Yeah, we were driving, and we're like, dude, we're driving through Selma. We're driving through farmland right now. I actually have a shoot next week in Jamestown. I didn't realize it
just 20 minutes down the road, yeah.
I didn't realize it got booked. And I was on the call yesterday, and he was like, all right, yeah, we're good to go next Wednesday at 1 p.m. I said, sweet, I'll get that on the calendar. He sent me over the address, and I looked it up, and it was Jamestown. And I was like, you're kidding me. It's right beside Crawfordsville.
You could have just hit two birds with one stone there. But
yeah, I'll make another drive out here. So the insurance, I want to know about what insurance what do you guys specialize in? Because when I think of insurance, a lot of times I'm thinking of like home, auto, life, all that kind of stuff. But what do you do?
Yeah, so I specifically focus on property and casualty insurance, and specifically in that commercial. Mm-hmm. So property and casualty can include your home and auto as well. But for commercial, it's strictly to businesses or public organizations like governments, school districts, things like that. So my specific lane is in commercial insurance. I don't have a territory. I don't have anyone that I specifically have to target. But with my background and my mom being a superintendent of schools, here at RT we have multiple former educators who are connected with the public school space. Just seemed like a natural transition to jump into that and start working with public school districts on their property and casualty insurance. So property and casualty looks like your property, your buildings, any pieces of equipment that you have. It also includes your buses, vehicles, anything to transport your students, and then your general liability. So anything happens on your campuses, on your premises of your campus, someone were to trip and fall while they're at your school district, covers that as well. So don't want to get too far into the weeds of insurance because I don't think people listen to this podcast to hear about that, but that's kind of the main gist of what we do for public school districts.
Hey, people listen to this podcast because you're the guest and you're talking about what you do. So I'd say we talk about you, talk about what you're doing. Let's talk a little bit about Hive. You're one of the OGs. Dude, you've been there for a while when we were out at Estridge, which was a good spot to be. I want to hear kind of like what you see now and how Hive has grown like being there from, when it was 10 to 11 people to where it's at now? Like, what are your views on it?
Man, it's pretty remarkable how fast Hive has grown in the year and a half since I met you guys. I remember my first Hive meeting coming to Nick's Berkshire Hathaway office in Westfield. We were in the basement in this dark dungeon. I'd never met any of these people before, and I was like, what has Nick got me into? Well, thankfully from that night, I've met some of my closest friends in business, Sam Campbell, Nick, you, and it's crazy to see how far it's come to we're filming a podcast here in Crawfordsville, Indiana, a year and a half later, and having events with 50 plus people. Just looking back at the roots and where it started in that basement of 10 people to moving over to Estridge, we started to gain a little bit of traction, had some really cool guest speakers at that space, to where we are now citywide, almost getting close to statewide in Indiana. It's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it's expanding pretty fast. You mentioned like the relationships in business is one of the biggest takeaways that you've gotten from Hive. Like we see a lot of benefits of Hive is, the referral basis. You have the business growth mindset where you get a guest speaker, you guys do activities, you learn about how to scale, how to grow, like things to do, things not to do, learn about people's peaks and valleys in business. But then the business, like the relationship, it's not so transactional. It's more like, hey, I'm getting to know these people. We're going to do things on the outside, whether it's golf, getting lunch, just like chatting it up. I'm assuming like that is what you see value in for yourself is these relationships that you're building outside of just business.
Absolutely, yeah. The friends, I think, the first thing I think of when I think of Hive is the friendships that I've made, whether that be with you or Nick or Sam. Those are probably the three closest people that I've gotten to know through Hive. You're more likely to not only send business and send referrals to each other if you are good friends, but it just fills your cup. Mm-hmm. Like I enjoy every month going to a Hive meeting, running into people that I already know and have built a good relationship with, but also getting to meet more like-minded people like myself who are in that grind stage of their business, trying to build out their career, really hustling in all sorts of ways. And I just really enjoy that aspect of it, is meeting people who are going through the same thing that you are, and then also being able to grow on the relationships that you already have. Some of my favorite memories of Hive are just having lunch with people, getting to know them better on a one-on-one basis, learning how you can work together, how I can help them, how they may be able to help me down the road. But it's not transactional at all. And this is a long-term play, and you're building those relationships now, so maybe they turn into something down the road.
Yeah. 6 a.m. lift with Nick with the legs.
Yeah, we try to get creative with it. It doesn't have to be a formal business meeting. Nick and we met up at 6 a.m. at my old gym in Castleton and had a pretty tough leg day. Nick didn't finish all the exercises, I will say. He dropped the weights, went body weight, which is okay. He was still there, but no, we get creative. Like I don't think you don't have to be in a business setting to talk about business or get to know someone better. Like we decided he likes to lift, I like to lift as well. Let's meet that way. Yeah. Or go play golf. Mm-hmm. Do something fun. It doesn't have to be in a coffee shop or in a business setting to have that type of interaction.
Yeah. Speaking of golf, are you going to play a little bit more this year than you did last?
I'm going to try, dude. Yeah. Hey, I was moving, got engaged. I got a lot of excuses for why not getting out on the golf course.
Yeah, the Hive tour we had going pretty well. And then you're like, I don't know if I'll be able to play. I was like, okay, well, we're ramping it up this year. I'm just letting you know.
I will do my best.
Yeah.
I'm getting married in July.
Okay.
That's got to be number one priority.
Absolutely.
But we'll see if I can sneak out for 9.
Sneak out like 1 or 2 rounds a month.
Actually just bought. I'm on the board of the Park and Rec for the city of Crawfordsville. They own the local muni.
Oh, the local
muni,
baby.
I've got the city employee card where green fees are paid for the rest of the summer. So I have no excuse.
Cheater. Wow. We should have done the podcast on the course today. Mic up with the little mini mics and run these 2 cameras on handheld. Dude, we should have.
That's got to be a new series.
Yeah, we should have hooked the one camera up, clipped it. I've got a small rig arm, and it can clamp to anything. And this thing, dude, it's like
the cart cam.
Yeah, I've got a cart cam. It hooked that camera up, and we could have just run with the DJI mics, and like golf cart podcast talk.
I'm down for an episode 2 if you guys are.
That would be fun. Hey, we got the equipment. Look at this. That's pretty sweet. Hive tour this year. We are going to ramp it up a little bit. A lot more members joining this year, and we're going to keep it more within Hive. So it's going to be kind of a duo scramble format, probably all of the summer and all of the fall. It's a way that you find a partner in Hive, somebody that you can play with consistently, and log it with them. I think we're going to throw in a couple solo rounds, though, to break it up like we did last. I don't know. Did you follow it at all on the 18 birdies?
I was following. I part of it, too, of why I didn't participate as much as I saw some of these scores that you guys were shooting, and I was a little embarrassed. I'm like, I don't know if I can hang with these big dogs out here. Zane Keir shooting in the 70s.
Oh, no, that was done in a handicaps factored in, Dawson. Okay, so to make it fair, we had old Sam Campbell 33 handicap in there. He didn't want to play either because he was like, this is not fair. My buddy Chandler, who was my partner in there, he won every single week. But I told him, I was like, dude, you know what? The handicap, we have it factored in. So it's an even playing field for everybody. So, the handicap helped a little bit.
You're selling me, Zane. I will be there this summer.
Good. I'm glad. You better join it. But you saw who the best Hive member was in the Hive tour last year. Yep. You're going to see it again probably.
Jordan Harper?
No, me. I was on the top, man.
I see the swing progression.
Yeah. It's all on my my Instagram story I posted. I'm trying. You mentioned athlete mentality. Like for you, what is athlete mentality?
It really starts with a growth mindset, not being satisfied with where you are or putting a cap on what you can do. I think for the early part of my professional career, I had this idea of who I was, and that's just that was it. I didn't really, I was striving to be better, but I kind of put a cap mentally on what was possible. And I think starting fresh at this new role, I'm really having to source my own clients, source my income. It really pushed me out of my comfort zone, which is really what reminded me of playing sports growing up. You have a coach there who pushes you to be better, and thankfully for me, I have great mentors here, RT and Superior Insurance, who is over RT, to really push me out of my comfort zone. And what that means is my prospecting efforts. I came into this role really nervous and scared to approach new people, selling insurance. I don't know a ton about insurance at the time. How am I supposed to sell something that I don't know about, talk to new people for the first time? So the athlete mentality is really, it comes down to growth mindset and pushing yourself beyond your limits. So for me, getting comfortable making cold calls. When I first started out, I was making 300 to 400 cold calls a week, calling people about insurance. Just getting comfortable on the phones, getting comfortable dropping into new places that you've never been with a smile on your face. That's really where I think that athlete mentality came in, because if I didn't play sports growing up, I didn't know how to push myself and be competitive and want to get better, I don't think I would survive in a sales role, if I'm being honest.
It's kind of cutthroat. I've never played in a sales role, but some of what I do, I sell, and it's a little cutthroat. It's competition.
I mean, you own your own business, don't you?
Yeah.
How do you get clients?
Market myself and sell.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So anytime, I think Josiah said it on Josiah Kaufman said it on Dylan Baker's podcast, but anytime you're in a client-facing role where you have to source your own leads and income, it is a little cutthroat, and it's always going to be a little bit scary. But I think it's not always the case where athletes fit best in sales, but I think that's a trend that I've seen is people who are competitive and want to strive to be the best usually have the most success in this type of role. So
yeah, that's true. It's a good takeaway. I didn't think about it like that, Going back to Hive, what's like the main lesson that you've learned from Hive?
It kind of comes back to that same point, is putting yourself out there and not being willing to grow and to learn. I think sometimes when we're in our own, like we're going to work every day, we're in such a silo and tunnel vision in our head of what the world looks like around us. It's really nice once a month or whenever you interact with other Hive members to kind of get out of your own head for a little bit, learn about what other people are doing, hear fresh perspectives. That's really what I've taken the most from Hive, is meeting new people, but also learning about different careers, different industries. What are other people doing? How can I learn from them and take bits and pieces of what they do to make myself better, not only in my business, but personally as well. So I really just enjoy the fresh perspectives and getting to meet people who don't work necessarily in my space.
Yeah.
So
I'm curious, what's one of the coolest business owners or fields of work like in Hive that you've seen, like somebody doing with like their own thing?
Business owners. I don't know if I've sat down with a ton of business owners. I've sat down with quite a bit of people who are in sales roles. Mm-hmm. So I'll take it that route. Jalen Pleak, who I had coffee with last week, he's interested in learning more about Hive and will probably become a member. He works for I might butcher this, but it's a printing retailer. So they sell printers.
Okay.
Which you wouldn't think is the most complex thing in the world, but he was diving into how much money people or companies waste on printers each year, and it's a baffling amount. I work with a lot of public school districts, and he said some of them that he's met with waste hundreds of thousands of dollars a year on doing having an inefficient printing system. So just little things like that you think could be pretty self-explanatory. It's a printer. There's so much detail that goes into everyone's individual business. And I think just being open-minded and knowing that, I sell insurance. It's not the most glamorous product either. But everyone in every type of business has a story.
Do you have a phone? Do you have a phone case on your phone?
I do. I have a black phone case.
Yeah, I have a phone case on my phone. It's kind of like insurance, right?
What do you mean?
As far as like protecting your assets.
It's protecting. You don't want to have to think about it. You have your phone case there. Maybe you've had it for years.
Yeah.
And it's there to protect if it falls, but you don't have to think about it all the time. You want to know that your phone's going to be protected if it drops. Yeah. And it's kind of similar with insurance, and how I try to build public schools or municipalities programs is they have peace of mind knowing that it's there. They have the proper coverage that they need. They have someone that they can rely on, and me and my team, if something were to happen. But they have so much on their plate already that they don't need to be thinking about insurance all the time. And that's where I come in, and my team as well.
Yeah. You said insurance isn't glamorous, and it's like, yeah, sitting in a room talking about insurance is, but like, do you have a phone case on your phone? It's just a random thing. Do you have a phone case? Yeah, I do. Okay. It's kind of like insurance. Like
right.
It's an important thing to have. You just don't think about it or talk about it.
And going off that, I just want to say I never thought selling insurance could be this much fun. And it has nothing to do really with the product of insurance itself. It's fun being able to help and serve people and make sure that they're covered. But really what I mean by insurance being so much fun is the relationships and the people that I've got to meet through insurance, whether it be the superintendent of a school in northern Indiana, who I never would have gotten the chance to meet unless it was for insurance, if I hadn't picked up the phone and called them and asked for a meeting and have been bold. That's where the fun comes in. Meeting new people, going to new places, getting to visit these amazing school districts and campuses across Indiana and seeing all these hidden gems, whether it be a gymnasium itself or a beautiful auditorium. Indiana public schools have a lot to offer in terms of their beauty, the structure of each campus. That's just been my favorite part, is going to all these new different places and getting to build relationships with these leaders who have such an impact on the future of our state and our country.
Yeah. Was that your first time, you mentioned earlier, before we started this episode? Have you ever been to Randolph County?
I'd never been to Randolph County before August of last year.
Okay.
And how we got there, obviously you're from Randolph County, but it was all just from a cold call, picking up the phone and calling a superintendent out there to see if he ever took a second look at his insurance.
That's so crazy. You mentioned that. I was like, what? That's too close to home.
Yeah. So it's just things like that. Like, I would have never gotten that opportunity if my mom wasn't a superintendent. I hadn't thought of calling on school districts. If I wouldn't have just picked up the phone and asked. A lot of times I think people complicate cold calling and sales and outreach. It really comes down to, are you comfortable with what you're saying, and are you willing to make the call? I don't know if you felt that way as you try and build your business out. Sometimes we have a lot of head trash that we face. The inner voice in our head says, they're probably busy. They're probably fine with what their insurance. Like, if you have that internal voice, you're never going to get anywhere. You just have to shut it off and do it. The best quote that I ever heard was, life rewards action, not intelligence. So just, like Nike says, just do it.
Yeah. Sick. I like it. A little motivational piece from Dawson. All right, let's do some like fun stuff. These are gonna be a little fast questions. I'm gonna fire these off to you.
Bet.
It's a this or that. Let's get to know Dawson like on a different level. Coffee or energy drink guy?
Cup of Joe, black coffee every morning.
Do you make your own or do you go buy it?
I make my own. I have the pods.
Oh, okay. Is it an espresso or just like a Keurig?
Just a Keurig.
All right. I got to get you on like getting beans and just getting a grinder and grinding them up.
I've done that in the past. I like both. Just the pods are so efficient. You can't beat it. But I will say, I love a White Monster energy drink as well.
Shout out White Monster.
Absolutely.
Are you an early bird or a night owl?
I'm definitely an early bird. My routine that my fiance and I have going is we wake up at 5:30 every morning. She goes to work. She's a labor and delivery nurse. I go to the gym, and we're in bed by 9:30 every night. We're like an old married couple at 24.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Structure, right?
That's right.
Are you a phone call or a text?
Phone call all day.
What's that?
You don't know what someone's really feeling over a text. I think if it's something really important that you just need to hash out, give me a call.
Absolutely. That's more like personal, right? But like business, you can get an entire 30-minute text done in 10 minutes.
Exactly.
It's so much easier. And it's that voice to voice. You actually have a conversation versus just twiddling your thumbs.
Absolutely.
Work from home or work from the office?
I'm a work from the office kind of guy.
I wonder why.
We do have a pretty good setup here at RT with the bar and the golf sim, but I need to be around people. If I'm in a home office all day, I just need human connection, whether that be just walking by my friend Carson's desk and saying what's up. I don't know what it is, but my cup is filled more when I'm in the office with other people.
Yeah. If you guys can't see it, but there's a golf simulator behind us and we're sitting in a bar. So I would work from the office too. We're going to do a valuable end question after those little rapid fires. What do you wish that people understood more about your industry?
It's a great question. I think the general public doesn't even realize that public schools or governments have insurance. It's not something that is really thought of when they think of these types of organizations. So I would just say, if you know someone who is in a leadership role at a public school district or a government municipality, I would love to have a conversation. I don't know if I necessarily have a hot take on the subject.
Hot take on insurance?
A lot of people, I guess I do have one. A lot of people do view it as transactional, and at renewal time, they're trying to save money, which I think in the personal home and auto space isn't a bad way to go about it. But when you're dealing with businesses and public organizations, if they have that mindset, I don't think that's going to get them the best results from a long-term standpoint of what their total cost of risk is going to look like. If they have a proactive partner who gets ahead of things and doesn't wait last second at renewal and just auto-renews them with the same company every year, if you put a plan in place, I think you're going to be in a much better spot in the long term from your total cost of risk.
Yeah, I love it. All right, well, to end it, tell people where they can find you and how they can contact you.
Yeah, you can find me on LinkedIn, Dawson Eastes. Try to be pretty active on there. Also on Facebook and Instagram. My Instagram handle is Bad Doss. It's a nickname from my buddy Eric from high school. My phone number, I'll put it out there as well, 317-308-8825. If you ever want to sit down for coffee, lunch, golf, lift, I'm down for whatever. Always open to new relationships.
Sweet. Dawson, appreciate it. It was good to see you.
Thank you, Zane. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, so thank you guys for watching this episode of Networked. We've got a lot more coming your way. Yeah, thank you.